Welcome to Passport Mommy. I'm your host, Michelle Jerson. This show is for anyone raising little humans. We feature experts with tips and advice to enrich the lives of our children. Mom and dad entrepreneurs tell us their inspiring stories. Learn about products that could make both you and your child's life easier and more fun. And of course, fellow parents discuss and laugh about what's happening in their child's world. Motherhood is a journey. Thanks for joining me on mine. So I am so excited to have you here today because we have such a good show. We are going to be speaking with Lish Kennedy from Vrbo. We're going to be speaking with Tim Burke from Edward Jones. He's going to talk to us about 529 plans and why they're so important. And then we're also going to speak with Amberlynn Vital from Garden of Life. She has been with us talking all about health and wellness for us and our children. And she just has so much great information coming up later in the show. But I am thrilled right now to have with me Lish Kennedy. She is Vrbo's Vice President of Global Brand Marketing, overseeing strategy, partnerships, communications, and creative initiatives. Her team is dedicated to telling families about Vrbo and the joy of just reconnecting and spending quality time together on vacation. And as you know, I am a huge fan of Vrbo. I love staying in vacation rental homes. I think it's perfect when you have children, especially because you have all of the amenities right there with you. You have your kitchen, you have your laundry. You don't have to worry about going out to restaurants if you don't want to. And what better time to take advantage of a vacation rental home than now and everything we're going through. Lish, thank you so much for being here with me.
Michelle, thank you so much. What a very warm and generous welcome. I'm thrilled to be part of your show and excited about our conversation.
Well, thank you. And I'm thrilled because I know that Vrbo has been around for a while, but you are about to celebrate your 25th anniversary with some pretty cool things you have going on.
Michelle, you're absolutely right. It is our 25th this year. Vrbo was founded in 1995, which feels like forever ago. And whilst this year is not the year for birthday parties, we really wanted to celebrate this milestone. And part of why we wanted to celebrate is to show the gratitude that we have to the fact that millions of families have used Vrbo over the years, especially this year, to celebrate kind of their vacation time. Vacations with families are, in my mind, the most important time of life. It's the time that we look forward to. It's the time that makes incredible memories, and it really brings us together. And Vrbo is unique in offering whole homes with incredible amenities and the space and privacy for everyone just to truly relax, to drop the distractions of every day and just enjoy kicking back in great pools, great grills, great living rooms, amazing kitchens, and wonderful locations. And so we wanted to use our 25th to share the gratitude we have that millions of families have put their trust in us and taken their families on vacation to Vrbo's.
And I know firsthand, even just since my kids were born, I was using Vrbo before they were born, but since they've been born, we've stayed in some incredible properties from Sarasota, Florida to all different parts of Italy. And like you said, we have stayed in some just gorgeous, gorgeous homes and places that you would never dream of. And I think even hotels might not have as beautiful of a view as this vacation rental home we stayed in Italy. So I'm a huge fan. As you know, I don't need to say any more about that. Now, what are you doing to celebrate this 25th year and giving back?
Well, we are giving away 25 incredible vacations of a lifetime to 25 people who enter, or 25 families who enter our competition. It's essentially a contest that is running on Instagram and Facebook, and we're asking people to post a picture, a throwback family memory, and include the hashtag Vrbo turns 25. And that is 25, the number, not the word. So it's Vrbo turns 25. And part of what is so incredible about this is we are filling up social feeds with just incredible positivity. There's nothing nicer than seeing kind of flashback or throwback photos of great family vacations. And social is just peppered now with these incredible memories that people are sharing. And we've had thousands of entries. And so if any of your listeners need a little bit of respite from all of the other things that are happening on social and the news, check out our hashtag and you can just see incredible memories through photos.
Terrific. I know I sit at night and I look through my Instagram and I see all the vacation spots that people tag in memories. I'm like, oh, those are the days, and hopefully we'll get back there really soon. Well, what are some of the giveaways that you're doing? What are some of the locations? Where can people, when we are ready to travel again, what can we enter to win?
Well, it's a great question, Michelle. And funnily enough, there's a lot of families who are ready to travel. And what we wanted to do is make sure that no matter what families' comfort zones are in terms of travel, that there are lots and lots of options. So we have created a page in our site. The URL is vrbo.com/VRBOTurns25. And we've had collected 25 of our best ever Vurbos that cover a huge variety of destinations and house types. There is an incredible, there's almost a magical tree house with a spiral staircase that goes up into the house. The house looks just stunning. There is also a private island off the peninsula that goes down to Key West. There are incredible homes by lakes, by beaches. No matter what a family might really want to do in terms of destination and property type, we have pulled together some of the most exciting and incredible Vurbos for people to pick from, including a renovated plane that's in Costa Rica.
Wow. Yeah. And you're right. People are definitely ready to travel. I know a lot of people are traveling. They might just be staying a little closer to home versus getting on an airplane just yet. But like you said, you have so many different, I mean, you can go on Vrbo and you can get a place anywhere in the United States and anywhere in the world. So the fact that you are offering these different places in different parts of the country, wonderful.
I know, we're so excited. And we're seeing, as I mentioned, so many entries. It's just thrilling to see so much love of people, like the passion that people have celebrating just their moments of togetherness. Vrbo stands for kind of bringing families together and seeing people share photos that takes them back. Some of the comments under some of the entries say things like, the best time of our lives, take me back there, can't wait to do this again. And it feels so uplifting to know that Vrbo has created so much kind of value and purpose in the world. And we're so grateful to have been part of those stories. And we can't wait to create more of those incredible memories and help families celebrate other things in the future.
Right, exactly. So when does this contest end? And are there any other details that we should know of and how we can enter?
Yeah, entry is super simple. We know, folks, there's a lot on. People are juggling a tremendous amount during this time. And so it's as easy as posting a throwback photo with the hashtag VRBOTurns25. The competition ends on next Friday, which is Friday the 16th. We will be picking the 25 winners in November. You can post from all over the world, but winners will be selected from the US and Canada, given just kind of legal parameters around running a contest.
Right. Terrific. Okay. So for the families that have placed a pause on vacations this year, would you still encourage them to enter?
I would. I mean, who doesn't want to benefit from a free vacay at any time? And as you mentioned, not everyone is ready to travel. And what's important to us is, you don't have to use this trip if you win, which would be amazing. You don't have to use this trip this year. You can keep it for later, for just depending on how families feel about safety and travel during this unprecedented time.
Right, which is terrific, because I know that as soon as this is all behind us, everyone, I can speak for myself, and everyone I know is going to be on the road traveling and making up for lost time. And Vrbo really is just such a wonderful website and a great place to get started. And the app, you could just get lost in the app as well.
Oh, I know. Sometimes when I can't sleep, I just search for homes, like for trips. I just daydream in the app. And so if anyone wants to waste some time, well, not waste some time, but use some time where They don't have any other pressing things to do. It's just so nice to dream, dream about future trips, where you might go. We actually have this product called Trip Boards, and I have hundreds of trip boards that include all my favorite homes and properties from all over the different places that I want to travel. And so when I'm like, I've got PTO left, it's a use it or lose it, and I know I can quickly go and pick from my trip boards and figure out if I can get there, if the properties are available. It's just a handy way to kind of bank your favorite Vurbos. And so our trip boards feature is very helpful for daydreaming for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And one more time, the website, Vrbo.com. Lish Kennedy, thank you so much for joining me today. It was great speaking with you. Happy 25th anniversary.
Thank you, Michelle. And it was great to speak to you. Go well.
Thank you so much. And again, to enter the contest, just enter a picture of one of your older family trips. Hashtag Vrbo turns 25 by next Friday, the 16th. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. So as you just heard, Vrbo is celebrating its 25th anniversary. It's been in the vacation rental business, that's right, for 25 years. It is the go-to for families who want to travel better together and reconnect with their loved ones. And every time you book with Vrbo, you get the entire vacation home to yourselves. I have stayed in some amazing properties all around the world with Vrbo. You'll never have to share the space with anyone other than the friends or family you're traveling with. That means you can enjoy the ample space, the privacy, the amenities that Vrbo offers while making memories that last a lifetime together. So whether you're looking for a beach house, a lake house, a ski chalet, or a cabin in the woods, Vrbo has the perfect vacation home for your next getaway. Need inspiration for your next family vacation? Just head over to Vrbo.com or download the Vrbo app. So I have a 3 and a 1-year-old, and one thing that I did when they were first born was that I opened a 529 account. And I still fear that even with investing every month into their 529, that it will still not be enough money for their higher education. But even more so recently, a study was done that's saying that since the COVID-19 pandemic upended the education sector, Americans are reconsidering investing in higher education. So I'm very happy to have with me today Tim Burke. He is the principal in Tailored Solutions for Edward Jones. Tim, thank you so much for being here, because you're going to talk to us about the importance of 529 and maybe just share a little bit about what we can do with it, because I know that I knew nothing about a 529 before I really sat down and read about it and had heard other people who had done it.
Well, thank you, Michelle. And let me start by saying kudos to you for starting that plan. One of the things that we found is that a lot of people don't think at 1 and at 3 that, okay, I got to start thinking about college now. So I think as we talk to our clients, one of the things we talk about is that's the right time to start, is to start as early as you can in saving for education.
Great. So what has this survey revealed about Americans' commitment to investing in higher learning, and how can we start doing this? What are the first steps for somebody who's thinking about, okay, what's the best way to invest?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And so our survey found that not only because of the effects on the economy, but also the effects of this online learning, Americans are even more uncertain about not only the quality of education, or like you spoke about, whether or not they're going to be able to save enough for education going forward. And what we really recommend is looking at all of your options. One of the things that a Edward Jones financial advisor can do is really help you sit down and figure out what's most important to you and how you can make those goals happen. And as you mentioned, a 529 plan is a great option if you're thinking about saving for that higher education.
Right. Okay. Terrific. And so what are some resources? Where can we go to just learn more about financial literacy and what we should be doing?
So we have some free resources online. So if you don't want to talk to somebody right away, you can go to our website, which is edwardjones.com /529. And one of the things that you'll see there, and I think one of the things that's you talk about the flexibility of a 529 plan. It's not just for college anymore. You can now use it for K through 12 expenses. You can use it for apprenticeships, and you can even use it for student loan repayments. So it really is a very versatile tool, and one of the reasons why we recommend those looking to save for those types of expenses to really take a look at it.
Right. So what are, just real quickly, the basics and the positives of opening a 529?
A 529 plan is we'd say the biggest savings that you get with 529 plans are taxes. And in a lot of states that they're offered, if you have a state income tax, contributions in can go in without any additional state income tax. So you can do those pre-tax. And then as long as that money is coming out to pay for education expenses, they're also federal income tax free on any of the gains. So you get a double tax benefit with a 529, which is one of the reasons why we think it's so important to take a look at.
Right. Absolutely. So tell us about Edward Jones and EverFi's hybrid online tool for financial fitness.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we're really excited. We partnered with EverFi this year. Again, with the challenges of online and everything else, one of the things that we found was that it's more important now than ever for us to be educated on financial aspects and really starting as early as possible with our children and helping them understand the ins and outs of different financial aspects of their lives. So we partnered with EverFi this year. It's a hybrid online and in-classroom financial literacy experience. And we're doing it in high schools right now. We started in 3 markets, in Maryland, Massachusetts, and St. Louis. We're looking to hopefully expand that as we move forward. But it's talking about investment basics. It's talking about, giving the teachers and the support and training they need to really help students with the financial aspects of their students' lives.
Terrific. So tell everyone again, where can we go for more information? Because I know this is the time when we should all be jumping online and reading more about and thinking about our financial future.
Absolutely. So if you go to edwardjones.com, and if you have specifics about 529s, you can go to edwardjones.com/529. But there's also just a lot of information on the site to start to educate yourself on the different ways to prioritize your needs, the different ways to look at how you should be investing for your future and your kids' future.
Great. Thank you so much. Such important advice, Tim Burke. I really appreciate you being here today. I'm Michelle Jerson, the Passport Mommy. You are in for a treat because this is part of our series From Ordinary to Extraordinary, how moms impact families' health. And it is so true, right? On a daily basis, I know I'm always trying to keep my immune system strong. I need to be strong so I can be there for my children. I need to be strong so I can be there for my husband and for my parents and for just myself, my own health and wellness. It's just so important. And so we've been speaking with Amber Lynn Vital, and she's an educator with Garden of Life. And I've learned so much from her just in these last few weeks. She educates retail stores around the country so that they can educate us as consumers. And she just has so much to share. And so I'm thrilled to have her with us as we talk about immune health. And as our children are going back to school, whatever that looks like in whatever capacity, whether or not they're even going back to school, flu season is coming up. So we have to think about that on top of all of our COVID concerns. Right? So we're going to just talk about immune health. And again, you can see I have my stash here. If you're watching this on video, I have a huge stash of my immune support that I use. Some of it I use every day just to maintain, and some of it just when I'm getting sick. So Amber Lynn, thank you so much again for being here. Tell us, what do we need to know? Me. Sure.
Oh, well, so last time we talked a lot about supplements that we can take to really actually support the immune system. So first and foremost, your probiotics, prebiotics, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, and then I brought in omega-3s, either fish oil or marine algae-derived omega-3s are really important.
Right.
And so I think it's important to also, since we're talking kind of about hacks for our kids' immune health, what is one of the most important things that your kid can do to support their immune system, both preventing illness and recovering from it, is sleeping. And so being able to support your child in sleeping is really important. So, what is in their room? Do they have 20 night lights, because they like the unicorn one and it's all fun, it's all cute, but they need to actually be able to rest and sleep. Do they need a shade drawn because the light wakes them up first thing? My daughter was like that. She was always up at 6. I was like,
I know. It's the worst. The biggest darkening curtains you can find.
I know. So, and then are they comfortable? Are they too hot? Are they too cold? So these are obvious things. But then when all else fails, what can we do? And it kind of depends, again, upon their age. When they're younger, toddler age, it's a little bit more, we have to work with these sort of lifestyle tips. We can definitely look at making sure their magnesium levels are where they need to be. For example, do we have rituals of nighttime and winding down? That's important.
Right.
So one thing that I love that's actually labeled for children 6 years and up is this sleep well spread. So this is getting into, a little bit older, but definitely my daughter at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 was still waking up at 6 in the morning. Now I can't get her. So it does change. This stuff is great because it has lemon balm and chamomile and passion flowers, the main herbals, which are all very mild. Like you can make a tea of those, and you should. This time of year, you can grow lemon balm in your garden, and you can just do a sun tea out of it, and it makes the best relaxer. In fact, it'll knock you out in the middle of the day because it's just so sedating and relaxing. So that's very good for kids. And then we have the first ever, and we do this all the time at Garden of Life, first ever certified organic L-theanine. So L-theanine is an amino acid that comes from green tea, but doesn't have any of the stimulating effects of green tea.
Oh, interesting.
It supports the neurotransmitters that go into relaxing the nervous system and supporting sleep. So L-theanine is something I've seen used in the practitioner world with children for a long time, and adults.
Right.
So to me, as an adult, it quiets the monkey mind. Stops those spinning thoughts that keep you from meditating or sleeping.
Yes.
In children, it helps support the neurotransmitters that help to calm them. And being more calm, they can fall asleep more easily.
Interesting.
So I love this stuff as a hack, both for myself and for kids. What's great is even if they were, say they had like a nightmare and were awake in the night, you could go in and give them even 2 or 3 sprays, and they don't have to drink water. They don't have to get up and go to the bathroom. You don't even really have to turn on a light. There's none of this whole now we start all over again. It's just open up here, just a couple sprays. And the same for you. You just roll over, grab it. You kind of have to make sure that the arrow is pointing the right way so you don't spray yourself in the get it in the right spot in your mouth. Yeah. And this is great for calming in the middle of the day too. I definitely could see like mom being stressed out, and instead of doing the 5 spray dose, just being like, okay, calm down.
Right. Exactly.
Stop that crazy mind.
Yeah.
Sleeping is crucial. And, for adults, we have a lot more stuff to support sleep, but for kids, that's really the one that we have at this point, though we are coming out with an elderberry sleep labeled for kids that has that great stuff in it. So I'm very excited about that.
That's exciting. And like you said, anything to help them with sleep that's natural, I'm all for it. And also, like you said, for us, I mean, I know myself, most nights, I don't get to bed until 2 a.m. It's not healthy. We've talked about that. And it's mostly just because my mind is just always going. And I think, I have this to do, and I have that to do, I have this to do. And so if, it was just a way to say, you know what, it's done. But I do have to say that you were a positive influence on me, because after we talked about that night, I did go to bed by midnight, which is still late, but better than my normal 2 a.m. And I woke up the next day. I did miss my 6 a.m. workout, which I had planned, but at least I was able to get my 7.5 hours of sleep. But that was after my son woke up at 4 a.m. and 5 a.m.
So not really a full 7.5 hours. So that's exactly it. So setting this standard that as parents we want to have, like, sleep is sacred. For me and my husband, sleep is sacred. And I think our attitude about, like, our sleeping time is sacred. So even if you're awake at 6 a.m, don't come downstairs. Like, that is not, you're going to have to read a book. You're going to have to, like, play a song or something, getting kids as they're older, not your 3-year-old maybe, but as they're learning to enjoy that time by themselves as well. And that they have to interact with somebody right away. And that for mommy and daddy to be their best with you, they have to have their sleep too, because they were up cleaning the kitchen after you went to bed. And,
exactly.
Binging on Netflix or whatever they were doing.
Yeah, no, so true. It's not a miracle that the kitchen is a complete ransacked mess when they go to sleep, and then miraculously it's all clean in the morning.
There are not house fairies.
Right. Exactly.
Where's our doggy?
Yep. And so what are some other hacks? Because that's a really good one. And you bring up an excellent point with sleep, because I feel that is the foundation to keep your immune system strong. What else? What are some other hacks?
Activity. Having your child be active, is so important. If they, again, you've got your oldest is 3.5. They're not on the Xbox, but so many kids are having their Nintendos, their Switches, their phones, they're getting on Xbox. It's really, even the original tube televisions with the fuzzy picture affect our brain waves in such a way that if that's what we're doing right up until bedtime, your mind is active and excited. And it's really, well, now explain how we can be in front of a movie we really want to watch finally, and we fall asleep. I don't know.
Right. Me. Sometimes that happens all the time.
Yeah. But, not letting them see or do stimulating things through that period of time, the couple hours before bed. It really, reading a book is a much better idea. Listening to music is a much better idea. Snuggling and being warm is a much better idea. Do you notice how the minute you start to doze off, your child falls asleep too?
Yes. Yes. And I notice that all the time whenever I cuddle with her, and I was like, is it because my heart rate slows down? And I always wondered how that happens.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's definitely something I noticed. And so I need to do this to really, know that my kids, even though they're older, they feel secure and safe and ready to sleep if I give them that snuggle,
Right.
And in their bed, my daughter reminded me last night, I was like, I have stuff to do. Can't you see that I have things I need to get done right now? Because I did this earlier in the day and now I have to do this work. And she's like, obstinate about I feel safer if you come and good night to me in my bed and give me a hug. And
Yep, I know. Same. My daughter, she went from her crib to her toddler bed to her big girl bed, but she wouldn't fall asleep unless I fell asleep next to her. And I loved it, but I would wake up at 11 o'clock and say, shoot, there was my 2 hours I had in a day to get anything done. And so I tried to stop doing that. And she could not fall asleep without it. And now she's back in her crib. And now she wants to go back in her crib because I think she feels more secure. And I feel badly because we want to be there as moms. We want to be next to our children, but we do.
Well, there is no one formula.
Right.
So each mom, please, you got to figure out what works for you, you know, but you do also have to find the time to guard your own sleep and your own time to really take care of yourself. But if our kids are sleeping, they're going to be healthier. And then we have to kind of find a way and aware that we can get that extra sleep that we need, power naps and that kind of a thing, relaxation, meditation. I mean, even if you're not like a great meditator, just teaching your kids to take that quiet time. Let's just sit here for 5 minutes and try not to say anything to each other. You know, let's try to be quiet. Let's go outside and let's just watch the leaves in the tree and see what's in the tree and not speak, but just be still for a minute. It's kind of funny that we have to have a trend on doing nothing, the do nothing therapy.
Right. I know.
Like there used to be times when you just did nothing. Now we have to really try to make ourselves do that. And I think I know for myself, I need to intentionally work that in because there's a merit to always getting something done.
Right.
And I crack up because my husband, he'll be just sitting on the couch. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, nothing. I'm relaxing. And I'm like, don't you have something you need to do?
Yes.
To get done.
Yes.
And then really what I'm upset about is he has the capacity to do nothing.
Right.
Not be lazy, but literally do nothing. Like
exactly.
Just not doing anything, just chilling for a few minutes. And I'm like, doing this.
Yeah. Same.
And then I'm just like, what are you doing?
Exactly. You know? And then it's frustrating because like, if I'm cleaning, if I'm doing this, how could you just lay on the couch?
You should at least be like, is there anything I can do to help you?
Right. Exactly.
You know, but it is I know he's good at that. And I know I could take a lesson from that, but in the moment I just fail. So we all fail. It's okay.
Yes.
We do, but keep aspiring to that. Right. So relaxation, finding ways to relax. Mom magnesium is great. Is great. You can get it in collagen peptides. That's a great source of glycine. Those two things really help you to relax. Making sure your kids have adequate protein in their diet will also help them to be able to relax, sleep, make neurotransmitters.
Right. And that's interesting. And I'd like to talk about that in the next segment. So as you've been enjoying Amber's advice and wisdom, I want to remind you that she works in the education department for Garden of Life. I've been using and recommending Garden of Life products for quite some time now. And I can honestly tell you that every conversation I have had with Amber on and off the air has confirmed for me that this company just goes above and beyond in everything they do. The more I learn about them, the more I'm just blown away. I mean, Garden of Life is a health and wellness company that makes vitamins and supplements, but it's important for you to understand that they are a food-first company. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they do not use synthetic, chemically made versions of vitamins and supplements that try to mimic the nutritional properties of food. Instead, they only use real, honest-to-goodness food. But wait, there is more to their story. The foods they use are the cleanest foods and the most nutritionally dense foods possible because they are organic and non-GMO foods. I love knowing that when I give these products to my family, that I am fueling them with powerful, clean food nutrition. So if you're looking for everything from vitamin A to zinc or probiotics to protein, I highly encourage you to check out Garden of Life products in your local health food store. We are speaking with Amber Lynn Vital, and she educates people around the country about how the products can really enhance somebody's life and help them along the way with proper eating and exercise and all the other things that we need to do. So we're talking about hacks for keeping our kids' immune systems healthy as they go back to school, or maybe they're staying home and we're still getting into the winter months. And Amber, before the break, we were talking about protein powder and getting enough protein in our children's diet. So what are some tips that you have for that?
Oh, that can be a tough one. It really depends on what your kid likes as a source of protein. My kids don't love protein shakes. It's frustrating. They find they use the words they're too rich.
Okay.
So they kind of have a hard time with a lot of our protein powders, which has been frustrating, but I hear a lot of kids that do great with it. I think one of the best ones, though, the simplest ones, is the whey protein. If you are into animal protein, whey protein has so much less lactose than a glass of milk. Half a gram of lactose sugar in whey protein, whereas there's 8 grams of it. So the difference between 500 milligrams and 8,000 milligrams.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because I can't do lactose. So I stopped taking whey protein because I thought, well, if I'm lactose intolerant, it's just going to affect my stomach. But if that's the difference,
Right. And then some people are sensitive to dairy proteins. And if you're sensitive to dairy proteins, they're still going to be there.
Right.
So
okay.
you have to know what exactly you're sensitive to. But whey protein has all of those good amino acids in a very absorbable way. The chocolate sport whey protein is so good. It's like chocolate milk, but doesn't have all that sugar.
Right.
It doesn't have, all that lactose. It has all the good stuff.
Okay.
So that is great. And it can really be mixed into a lot of things very easily. The plant proteins also, if your kids like them, it's great. And they don't need to do a full shaker cup of protein. It can be a part of their smoothie with all the other good stuff that they love. Of course, my daughter, she loves, like a yogurt and berry smoothie, and I can sneak, protein bits in there up to a point. To a point. So are you able to sneak anything in?
I am. So I do sneak a lot in their smoothie. And what I have started doing is making these kale pancakes, where basically it's just a smoothie that I then cook on the stove. And I always wondered if that compromised the protein powder at all, because basically I make these kale pancakes with kale, oatmeal, banana, an egg, and a scoop of protein powder. And I find that the protein powder actually holds the pancakes together, because I tried it once without it and it wasn't as good, and it didn't hold them all together. And they love them. I mean, when I tell you they scoff them down, it's just one after another.
I want that recipe. That's awesome.
So it works for them.
So you don't have the live enzymes and the probiotics if you cook the protein powder, because we always put enzymes that are active and live probiotics that are active. And they degrade at 115 degrees.
Okay.
So, that's gone, but you still have those amino acids and those proteins available. Okay. And so just like anything, there's certain nutrients that are better obtained raw, and certain nutrients that are better obtained cooked or fermented. So it varies. You're still getting all the minerals from the greens and stuff, and you're still getting the amino acids from the proteins, but you're missing that live quality.
Got it.
It's great. If kids will do a pancake that actually has protein in it, that's just a whole different animal.
Okay.
Whether it's a plant protein or an animal protein, that is just going to sustain them so much better and fuel their nervous system and fuel their immune system. So one of the things when I studied pre-med, I learned that lack of adequate protein is probably one of the main factors in being susceptible to infectious disease around the world. So when I traveled to Ecuador and I traveled to India and I traveled to Mexico and I did these public health programs, I went from being a vegetarian to eating whatever was put in front of me. If it was there, I ate it. I just decided I need to be properly nourished. Yeah. To have a proper defense system. If you don't have enough protein, you can't make immune molecules and cells and compounds. You can't defend yourself. And that's the problem with third world countries all over the place. They don't have adequate protein.
Right. Interesting.
We have access to it.
Right.
We need to be able to digest it, and we need to be able to consume it. So adequate protein is a huge hack for having a good functioning immune system, and also for sleeping properly, which also helps for functioning immune system. So it's not just, what can we spray? What can we add in?
Right.
What can we take? What gummy can we chew on? It's how do we eat at the table? How do we supplement what we eat? How do we get some good sleep and some good relaxation time?
People can just head to gardenoflife.com. Amberlynn Vital, thank you so much for another wonderful segment this week. You've given us so much incredible information. As you've been enjoying Amber's advice and wisdom, I want to remind you that she works in the education department for Garden of Life. I've been using and recommending Garden of Life products for quite some time now, and I can honestly tell you that every conversation I have had with Amber on and off the air has confirmed for me that this company just goes above and beyond in everything they do. The more I learn about them, the more I'm just blown away. I mean, Garden of Life is a health and wellness company that makes vitamins and supplements, but it's important for you to understand that they are a food-first company. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they do not use synthetic, chemically made versions of vitamins and supplements that try to mimic the nutritional properties of food. Instead, they only use real, honest-to-goodness food. But wait, there is more to their story. The foods they use are the cleanest foods and the most nutritionally dense foods possible because they are organic and non-GMO foods.
I love knowing that when I give these products to my family, that I am fueling them with powerful, clean food nutrition. So if you're looking for everything from vitamin A to zinc or probiotics to protein, I highly encourage you to check out Garden of Life products in your local health food store.